This is a box grater, but you might better know it as a cheese grater. Because for a lot of us, a lot of the time, well, perhaps the only time we grab one of these is when we need to use it for this, for grating cheese. And these do a great job of that. But like a superhero with some secret powers, this humble kitchen tool can do a lot more than simply grate cheese. Today I'm going to tell you 10 other things that you can and should be using a box grater for beyond, well, just shredding cheese. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And yeah, believe it or not, you could be a way better cook with the help of one of these, the humble box grater. Now, like I said in that intro, you probably grab one of these when you want to shred a block of cheese, but like any good kitchen tool, well, it can give you, wait for it, great results if you just know how to use it. And the uses for one of these go far beyond just, well, shredding some cheese. So today we're gonna take a closer look at one of these and some of the many uses for the humble box grater. Now, before we get our grating on, let's talk a little bit about the box grater and its relevance and its history. Now, a box grater can kind of be thought of as a manual, old school version of, well, one of these, a food processor. Because ultimately, that's what this does, is it processes food. And when I say processes, in this sense, I mean taking a food and, well, processing it or changing it into a different form. In this case, it's going to take a food and it's either going to make it smaller via grating, shredding, or slicing. So for grating, for example, you can think of a box grater as a food processor when you're using the grater attachment. But of course here, no electricity is needed, just manual labor of your arm and your hand. Now, a box grater differs from one of those simpler plain graters in that, well, there's 4 sides to a box grater, and each side has a different, well, way of cutting. So the kind of the larger holes here, these are for shredding larger pieces of cheese or other foods. Then you'll also have a smaller shredding section here. It's on this side for this grater and on this side for this one, and that's for finer shreds. Then you have a side that has, like, we'll call it a rasp, kind of like, well, it's kind of like one of these, a microplane. And these have a very specific use. If you're a regular watcher of this channel, you might remember when and why we used one of these. We'll do that again today, but with this side. And then finally, there's a slicing blade. Now, this box grater just has one of these slicing blades, and this one has several. This one has 3. I think this is actually the better way of doing it, and you'll see why when we use it as a slicing tool. But those are the 4 sides of a box grater, and those are their different uses. Now, this is just a really old guy I had. I can't even remember where or when I got this. It's been in my pantry forever and it's served me well, but I really like this kind of newer version. This is an OXO that I bought recently, and I like this one because it's, first of all, it's stable. It has these rubber feet here as opposed to this one, which can slide around a little bit more. And also this one has a little container that you can actually put this on top of to grate, and then all of your gratings will fall into this container. Now, finally, you know, a lot of us, when we use one of these, we might use it upright, you know, grating our cheese or what have you in an up and down manner, but you don't have to use one solely like that. You can also lay it on its side and, well, you can take your food and grate from side to side, just whatever is comfortable for you. So just because it's upright doesn't mean you have to grate food that way. In fact, a lot of people think it's safer and just, well, easier to grate either this way, side to side, or up and down. Again, let your comfort be the guide. Okay, so the first food that you can use a box grater for beyond cheese are, well, vegetables. I'm talking things like carrots and potatoes and zucchini. These work great for a box grater. So you might remember when we made hash browns not that long ago, we needed to grate our potatoes. So basically you can just take your potato and just grate. Now, you can, of course, use a food processor for this, but honestly, these are so convenient. So in this case, we would just take our potato and we would grate. And what you get are these fine little shreds, and these are what we would eventually use for making, well, those homemade hash browns. They're wonderful. Now, one word when you do grate a potato, you want to put this in water immediately, because what happens is it will oxidize and it'll start to turn brown, so you want to prevent that. Similarly, it's great for carrots. And again, this is using the larger grater side, but if you want to do something like a finer grating, you can of course just take your carrot and you have these fine little pieces of carrot. These are great in salads. They're great to mix in maybe for a carrot muffin, and then a zucchini as well. And here I'll show you the slicing side. Now I like this, that this has just one blade here instead of three. I think this is easier. So what I've done is I've cut my zucchini to kind of give it a head start, but you just take your zucchini or whatever you want to slice and run it over the blade here. Just like this. In this sense, it's kind of like a mandolin. Remember when we used one of those to make homemade potato chips? Well, this is doing the same thing, and frankly, it's a lot easier. So you get these nice sliced zucchinis, and again, we can use these for whatever we want, but there you go. Veggies are a great way to use a box grater beyond just cheese. You can also use a box grater for hard fruits, and apples immediately come to mind if you want shredded apples for your oatmeal or for your cakes or your muffins or what have you. All you need to do is take your apple, and again, we can use the large grates for this, simply just grate. And as you see, we now have juicy grated apple. Now a note with apple, like those potatoes, these do oxidize quickly. So you're gonna wanna put these in water or douse them with an acid like lemon juice to prevent that oxidation, or just, well, eat them immediately because they're delicious shredded. If you've ever needed grated chocolate for a recipe, perhaps like when we melted chocolate for a double boiler or just any other recipe, a baked good, well, this is another great use for a grater, especially one that has a container down here to kind of contain those grates. So once again, we'll just take our big bar of chocolate here and we will just run these over the grates, and you will have your grated pieces of chocolate. So another great use for a grater is, well, for chocolate, whether it's milk chocolate like this or a big chunk of white chocolate, which is my favorite. Ginger root is a culinary powerhouse, whether you're using it in rice or a dessert or even a toddy, but it can be notoriously hard to shred. Sometimes you might just use a ceramic shredding plate like this, but you don't have to if you have a box grater. Once again, having a container can help, or a plate where you can have it, but all you have to do is take your ginger. We can start here on the small side and just shred. Or you could even use this wrap side and just shred it like this. Now this is gonna take a little bit of work. You're gonna have to usually kind of go in here by hand and get it out. But as you see, we have these tiny little pieces of ginger now that are ready to use in your recipe. And this can be a lot easier than, well, having to get a dedicated plate like this. Believe it or not, my egg salad recipe actually ends with a box grater because it makes it so easy. So what I do is I first hard boil some eggs. I usually use Matt Cuisinart egg cooker that I reviewed not that long ago. It still works great. And then once I peel the eggs, I simply grate them over the large holes of the box grater. That yields tiny, perfect crumbly pieces that I can then mix with mayo, mustard, chopped onions, and whatever else to make a phenomenal egg salad, which I can then use in a sandwich or whatever else, all thanks to a box grater. You don't have to pay exorbitant prices for boxed breadcrumbs at the store. If you have a box grater and some stale bread, well, you can have breadcrumbs instantly. So again, all we need to do is take our stale bread, we'll use kind of our small shredding side here, and we'll go to town. As you can see, we get really fine breadcrumbs here. Of course, you can make them coarser if you want, but that's all you need to do is grab a box grater, stale bread, and you can have breadcrumbs in seconds, and you can coat your food with them, use them for meatballs, meatloaf, whatever you need to do. Breadcrumbs from a box grater. Few ingredients can make recipes pop like fresh ground spices. I've got some cinnamon here or something like nutmeg. Now, traditionally we would use a microplaner such as this, or even like something like a nutmeg grinder to grind fresh spices. But once again, if you've got a box grater, you don't need one of those. Now, this does take a little bit of work, and I like to use kind of, once again, this small shredding side, but all we have to do is grab our cinnamon stick here and again, go to town. By the way, it smells so good in here. The cinnamon released all those aromas. But as you can see, we have our fresh ground cinnamon. We've basically got cinnamon powder here. So again, you could use that in cookies and oatmeal, whatever. Or you could just sniff it because it smells so good. Speaking of yet another small ingredient that really makes recipes pop, and another way that a box grater can replace a zester is, well, as a zester. You might remember that episode I did on zesting. Well, basically, all you need to do is take your citrus fruit and, again, rub it on these grates. I should have called this the aroma episode because, again, the kitchen smells so wonderful from all the oils that were released from this zest. But once again, we have a nice container full of a wonderful ingredient here. Here's our lime zest. We can use this in a vinaigrette, or again, well, the options are just endless. But once again, a box grater comes through. Believe it or not, if you want perfect biscuits, well, the box grater might just be your go-to tool. That's because if you've made biscuits before, you know that you need to cut in the butter, and the butter needs to be in very small pieces, ideally very cold. So where a box grater can come in is you just take a frozen stick of butter and, yeah, you grate it. And look what this gives us. These perfectly small shaved butter pieces that are cold and that will just perfectly be able to be cut into the flour to make those biscuits. And now I'm making myself hungry just thinking of homemade biscuits. And last but not least, a box grater's usefulness can go far beyond food. Well, at least if you've got a fever and the only thing that will cure it is, well, more box grater. Yes, if you don't have a cowbell, grab one of these and let everybody know that supper is ready. So there you go. Those are 10 uses for a box grater beyond just grating cheese. I hope you look at this humble tool in a whole new light now. But what did I miss? What do you use a box grater for, and how is it invaluable in your kitchen? I would love to know, so be sure to put that in the comments below. Before we get to trivia time, a little show and tell. A company called Recyco sent me this. These are Swedish dishcloths, and these things are so useful. They're kind of a cross between a paper towel and a sponge, and as the name implies, well, they can cut down on waste, particularly the paper towels that you use once and throw away. These can be wetted, and again, they can be used kind of as a sponge or a paper towel. You can wash them. I think they are so useful, so thanks for letting me check out your product. They're very cool. I'll put a link below if you're interested in seeing what these are all about, but very cool, and well, I feel less wasteful, and they even helped clean up for this video. Okay, trivia time. Last week I asked you to identify this tiny little culinary tool, and several of you correctly answered. This is, of course, a pop-up turkey timer. You put one of these in your turkey when you're roasting it for Thanksgiving, and when the turkey hits the proper temperature, this little guy pops up here. These are pretty useful. Of course, I still recommend using a good thermometer, but these do have their place in the kitchen. Congratulations to everybody who correctly identified this as a turkey timer. For this week's culinary trivia, boy, do I have something very different. What is this thing? If you know what this cylinder-shaped thing is, here's a hint. You can use a box grater for it. If you know what this is or you have a guess, be sure to put that in the comments below, and I will of course let you know what this is in the next episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.